number goes up, viewers. I have a special announcement. We're doing a new mini-series. I don't know, tariffs is in the news.
Yeah, people are talking about tariffs a lot.
Yeah, and we've been wanting to talk about them too. Unfortunately, every week the rules seem to change. It's very chaotic. So we figured we'd break it up into mini episodes and do an ongoing tariffs series called Tariff Time.
Tariff time?
Yeah. So it's Tariff Time.
I think it's tariff time.
Well, the thing is that just recently there was a court injunction about American tariffs that said that they couldn't be done, but maybe they still can be. They're still in effect, but maybe not forever, and it's going to go into the courts. It's tariff time.
It's tariff time.
And we are talking about specifically American tariffs in the Trump administration and the back and forth reciprocal tariffs that other countries have levied against the United States in response.
Yeah, if you're watching this in the future, please comment down below and let me know that it's all going to be okay.
If you're commenting in the present, hey man, I like to hear it either way.
We can dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too it's important to kind of lay down a foundational understanding of tariffs in general, right? Their functions, and then we can kind of talk about why it's so relevant right now and in the news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to tell me what tariffs is?
Well, because what I've noticed a lot online, especially on the bastions of information gathering, like Instagram, TikTok,
Yes.
YouTube Shorts, etc.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of talk and confusion, at least again in America, that a lot of people seem to be under the impression that tariffs are essentially a tax that a foreign nation must pay in order to import their goods into America, to be sold within America. And from my understanding, that is the case, but the element that I think a lot of people get tripped up on is that in order for those companies who are importing these goods into America to be sold, to continue to make a profit and continue to help their number go up, that cost ends up getting tacked on to the final retail price of the product, essentially. And so in a way, it's really the consumer that ends up having to bear the major burden of that tariff or that tax. Do you feel I'm barking up the right tree there, Kingsley?
I think you're barking up the right tree in general. If you want a more, bite-sized view of what tariffs are, we have a video on GLOBIS Unlimited entitled Tariffs Basically, where we explain what tariffs are. But essentially, you're right. It's kind of a tax on a good being imported from a certain country. And usually they are implemented as a protectionist measure, or for for example, if you have a sector that is like producing steel, for example, and you want people to buy steel from your country, you would levy a tariff against a country that can export steel more cheaply, so that it encourages people to buy local steel because you're artificially raising the price of the foreign steel.
Right. Okay. And so when you say protective measure, it's in that sense basically what you just explained. It's to try to incentivize people buying like American steel.
Yeah.
In the context of the U.S. tariffs.
Yeah. We want the stated goal of the tariffs is to essentially make sure that and if there is an American version of a product and a version of a product from another country, that the consumer would be incentivized to buy the American version of the product.
Right.
And this would, in an ideal world, bring manufacturing jobs to America and it'll allow America to be self-sufficient Whether or not that is how things are going to bear out is, I guess we will see.
Right. Just to clarify and make sure that we all understand here, it's not like just forcing a foreign nation to give America money.
No.
Because I think the common misconception is like, oh, it's going to benefit the overall economy because these foreign nations are essentially paying us, America. We're Americans. We're based in Japan, but obviously Kingsley and I are Americans. So paying America a lump sum of money to do business with us, and then that money is going to like benefit the overall economy. I feel like that is a common misconception that I see a lot of people get tripped up on online.
Yeah. So, like, basically, what I hear when people have that viewpoint is that, like, for example, a Chinese company would send, I'm just going to keep saying steel, send some steel over to America, and they would have to pay a tax for it to go through to the American market. Right. And that is true.
Right.
Where I think people get tripped up is that they will compensate for that price increase by raising the price on the consumer end. Right. So the price will go up. Let's say it's like 25%. It is very likely that some of the tariff will be eaten by the manufacturer. So like maybe they'll be like, because the price difference would be untenable and we still want access to the market, we will take a 10% hit to the profit.
Right.
But the consumer will end up paying the additional 15%.
Right. Because otherwise these companies are going to go out of business because they're not going to be making any money.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these products, like in an ideal world, it makes sense, like, oh, we'll just buy American instead. But I think at least right now, the American industry isn't set up in a way to be able to produce and provide enough of it.
Yeah.
And the American economy is like very dependent on a lot of these imported products.
Yeah.
So that creates this situation where now it feels like a lot of these things are getting ridiculously expensive. It could be steel or even, I mean, we see it with like electronics, video game companies, even books and board games and stuff like that. Tariffs are affecting all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the turmoil with that is coming from the fact that the rules are so unclear and they're changing from day to day.
Right.
One thing that has changed very recently is the end of the de minimis exception, which is Latin for not that big of a deal.
De mini-me.
Yeah, de mini-me.
To me, it sounds like a cartoon mouse, Kingsley. That's the first thing that came to my mind when you sent me this
Not
topic to
not
explore.
Austin Powers mini-me, but
Not now it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a rule that was set in place where originally I think it was packages under, I think it was $200 in value shipped from another country wouldn't have to go through the same customs process and have the same inspections, and you wouldn't have to pay any import duties. And then it was raised in the Obama administration to an $800 limit.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. So you could send packages from another country to the U.S. Over a plane, and if it was under $800, that shipment would be duty-free, essentially.
Right. Kind of like regardless of whatever category of product it is, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Because from what I understand, too, there's different categories of products, and then tariffs affect those different categories in different ways. Like I know books, for example, tend to be tariffed way less than other products. So, but with the de minimis rule, if it was $800 or less, it doesn't matter what category it's in.
Yeah, you would just send it over, and you would be able to get that product. And
sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah. And so for a lot of consumers, or a lot of businesses, like especially Chinese wholesale retailers like Temu and Shein, really took advantage of that, and you could get a bunch of things that were manufactured cheaply in China, sent to the U.S. very cheaply, and as a result, you could, go online and buy a pair of flip-flops for like $1 and have them sent to your door, rather than going to the store in America and spending $18.99 on the same thing or a similar product. And that rule has been modified. So now the threshold is $100.
Okay. Like as of time of recording, very recently.
As
like
of time of recording, yeah.
Past few days.
And as a result, because of, again, the ambiguity with the rules, this has affected shipments into the U.S. I know that recently Japan and many other countries have temporarily stopped importing any product into the U.S. that's valued at over $100, just until we can figure out what is going on, because we don't know how the enforcement works. And I think the way the law is written, essentially the burden would fall on the shipping operator. So
Gotcha.
if the Japan Post, for example, was sending stuff over that met the threshold, rather than having that be collected by the person who's importing it, they would just have to kind of eat the windfall or eat the price difference there, and that just seems too complicated and too difficult. So right now we're just pause.
Yeah, it's a distressing situation for sure. I mean, I've seen it affect my life, directly, but I've backed a couple Kickstarters in my day. And for anyone who's uninitiated, Kickstarter is an online platform where you can essentially buy a product that doesn't exist yet in good faith. The idea that you want to support the creator and support this product being made in general. Like the person wants to make this product, but they don't have the startup funds to do it themselves. So essentially they advertise what they're making, and like board games and stuff like that is really popular in the gaming community. So you can essentially buy the product ahead of time and be a part of its creation, right?
Yeah, you're like you're a funder.
Yeah, you're literally funding it before it's made. But the issue is these days, right? Of course, especially when it comes to video games, really like any manufacturing, so much of it comes from China or other countries in Asia who are able to manufacture these types of things very cheaply, and that has created this price point, right, for these products that everyone is accustomed to. So you kickstart a product, like I backed a Kickstarter over 3 years ago now. You've heard me gripe about this before.
Have I ever?
I have still not received it, right? And at this point, we're getting email communications from the company saying that the product has been created, it's been printed, it's been packaged up, it's in the shipping containers. But because of all these tumultuous tariff situations, getting the product imported into the US, it would literally kill the company that created them. So like also as a good faith consumer who wanted to help back these products getting made in the first place, right? It turns into this situation where the product is being held hostage, and the creator wants to get their product to their consumers, right? They want to make good on their sales and do business and make the number go up. But it's this weird like hostage situation where if they actually complete the transaction, it will pull their company under, you know, because it's literally the cost of the tariffs is too much for them to bear. The margins just aren't there, and they'll have to end up eating so much of the cost personally, that they just go under. And then this dream of starting this business is just swallowed up.
Well, yes. But, you know, there are winners in this situation. I think that it affects different people different ways. I know that for the majority of consumers who pay for things that this applies to, or the de minimis rule specifically applies to, they are going to see price increases, and they are going to have to go to different retailers. But if you are a local American retailer who was competing with these operations, it does make your products more appealing. And so if you're a small business that has already been established and you're operating on Main Street, USA, and you were selling, I don't know, American-made T-shirts, it is now, because it is more expensive for people to operate using the manufacturing channels that involve foreign countries, now your $50 blank Gildan tee or whatever looks pretty attractive compared to, you know, you were comparing it to $5 shirts. Now, you know, you have a little bit of a higher quality product or a little bit of a more sustainable product, and the price difference isn't so big anymore. So now, maybe you're up. So there are some, positive takeaways from this, I suppose.
Other than, at least in theory, attempting to support small businesses within the U.S. who would like operate within these margins, like $100 to $800, like what do you think? I mean, what is the reasoning by lowering it back to $100? Beyond like, or is that it? Just this idea that you can get a blanket from some guy in America.
I mean, it does seem to be mostly political.
Right.
It's about making sure that, like, at least at face value, it's to make sure that American businesses are more able to compete within America and reducing trade deficits with other foreign countries. And then another thing that is a stated goal is because of the lax import checks on products that the de minimis exception applies to, they are stating that it's easy to smuggle things over the border that we might not want in the country through these products. The percentage of those products that get through under this thing is probably pretty low, but I imagine it's not zero.
Yeah, I guess because it's like it tends to be smaller packages and things like that, so it's like literally just smaller bundle size things that could be passed through.
Yeah, it's T-shirts, it's phone cases, it's chargers, things like that.
Yeah, and then I mean, like, what the original benefit of kind of like raising it to 800? Do you think that is just to encourage these these foreign companies to do more business within America, like, or is it more of like a manpower issue? Like, we can't be spending, because I'm sure that's like a huge portion of the stuff coming in falls within that smaller price point category. So it was like lessening the burden of human resources on like vetting all of these products coming in.
Well, I think it's a combination of that, and then also it offers lower prices for consumers on goods.
Right. Like, and again, like more household goods or like everyday things, because the common Joe isn't buying like raw steel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you not buy raw steel in bulk?
No. Oh. Grain though.
Whatever.
I've been stocking corn.
Yeah, I think that I'm operating in my capacity as guy you're speaking to, and not policy historian.
Whoa, Kingsley, you're a guy with the glasses.
I'm guy with the glasses.
I'm guy with the fun shirt.
And we're keeping it.
Yeah, that's the dynamic that we have established on this show.
Yeah, but it does. From what I've read, it does seem to be more of a like encouraging trade and pro-consumer type of move.
Right.
And it's also very difficult for America to adjust to doing things in America. Like, we don't have the infrastructure for manufacturing of a lot of things. We don't have we have incentivized for generations now, people kind of going up the skill ladder and seeking higher education, MBA education. And so like we as an economy have kind of switched into knowledge work and more specialized things. And as a result, manufacturing jobs have declined, but also manufacturing infrastructure has declined. The know-how is lost. It's not like, it's not like making a toaster. It's like considered low skill work on paper, but it requires skills and knowledge that people do not have. I could not manufacture toasters tomorrow.
I was just gonna say that. Do not ask me to make a toaster.
No, I'm a words guy.
Yeah, it is interesting in a way when I think about it from a more zoomed out perspective, because again, from the perspective of commerce and in business, it makes sense that you want to outsource your manufacturing if it's going to help you lower the margin or like lower the cost to widen the margin so you can make higigher profits, you know, disperse it to the shareholders, like all of that makes sense. So it feels like we've been doing what we need to do to make smart business decisions and grow as corporations and businesses. But now it's like, oh, well, we want to bring it back to the States or whatever home nation if you want to apply tariffs to wherever it is you live, right? But as you just said, we haven't been able to, we don't have the time or resources invested into making that a reality.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me as a guy who hosts a podcast where we hope to bring some sort of like takeaway or lesson from what we're talking about. From a consumer perspective, it really just feels like we're kind of stuck at the moment.
I mean, well, I guess first I would say we don't know. Like we said at the beginning, this stuff is changing every day. I do think that in order to, you know, give the full spectrum, there are some potential positive outcomes from this. I mean, if America is able to, you know, solidify the rules in a way where people can make these long-term decisions of like, oh, am I going to invest in bringing manufacturing into America? Because it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And because the rules are always changing, I think that is a lot of what is, you know, gumming up the works is like people don't want to say, oh, I'm going to build a factory in Minnesota if in 6 months it turns out that the tariffs are gone and now I'm starting to bring in all this infrastructure and for what? I can get it cheaper in China still.
Yeah.
But I will say that you know, we are kind of, not to play our hands, but we have been kind of talking about this as like in an anti-tariff light. But there are some use cases for tariffs that I think are strategically sound. For example, investing in the manufacturing of things like batteries and semiconductors and things that we need to be able to produce or a country needs to be able to produce for their own like national security purposes and things like that.
Right.
Like if there is a trade war with another country that is the only country that produces thing X that you need, you would want to be able to have some sort of backup plan, because as we can see, a country can unilaterally decide, oh, we've changed the rules all of a sudden. And there is something to having, you know, for important industries, a local ability to take care of that.
Yeah, exactly. You can't expect someone to be like, I'm going to start a semiconductor business in the U.S. simply because for altruistic reasons, I want the U.S. to be independent in semiconductor production.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, of course, the way that business is set up, like we're incentivized to make the best decision we can for our company, for our employees and our shareholders. So it makes a lot of sense to import it. But so the tariffs can be basically like an economic nudge to incentivize that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess we can leave it there for now because things are changing so much.
Right.
We don't really have a takeaway of like what to do. We just wanted to talk about different aspects of tariffs and how they will affect you going forward, and how they will make your number go up or down.
Yeah.
And so this has been episode 1 of the Tariff Time mini-series. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if there's anything about tariffs that you don't know and you would like to know more about, please let us know in the comments. We'll love to engage with you. We'd love to make content that you will want to see. And until next time, let's make that number go up.
Make it go up.
Bye.